There is no shortage on turn-based games out there, but Expedition 33, this one is a bit special. A game made by 30 developers, so good that it is getting all over the place. This one is different, this one is special, and it is a dark painted world filled with stories that can cut hell deep if you miss something. System that demands your respect and mistakes that can ruin your entire run if you are not enough careful. So let's flip the book. Instead of mistakes you should avoid, we are going to cover the untold rules, the stuff no one tells you but everyone should know before diving into Expedition 33. This isn't a casual walkthrough, this is your survival guide. Expedition 33 is kind of a game that sneaks up on you. The rare debut title that doesn't just imitate JRPG greatness, it dares to refine it further. Developed by Sandsfall Interactive, a relatively new French studio, this is the first time and the first title to be debuted by them, but don't let that fool you. The level of polish, ambition, and emotional depth here feels like something you would expect from a bigger studio with a better staff. But here everything is just brilliant. Visually, the game draws heavy influence from French Romance art. The term Clair Obscur literally refers to light and shadow, and that means the theme is going to echo a lot in almost everything. And you will experience this theme around the game tone, art style, combat animation, and you will also see some inspiration from Final Fantasy X, Lost Odyssey, and even a bit Persona in its blend. And the narrative and mechanics provided to this game are a bit too much for a base audience to understand. But Expedition 33 manages to carve its own identity, and it feels equally partly dreamy, mechanical, and boldly tactical. And these are the selling point of this great game in the current year. And the story, let's just say it respects your intelligence. It doesn't handhold you all over the place or over explain certain things. Instead, it lets the mystery and reveal at its own place. And it will stick with you long after the credit rolls. Cause certain scenes which you might have been relating to the actual game can be seen there too. If you're someone who missed the golden era of emotional strategy heavy JRPGs, or you just want a game with soul and style and something to say about, then Expedition 33 is absolutely worth your time, and you should surely try that. Items are core mechanic, don't back them up. If you are that kind of player who holds down his healing items until the end, then you must stop. Expedition 33 gives you exactly 3 different type of usable combat item. Healing tent, energy tent, revive tent. That's it. Seems basic, right? Their names suggest what they must be used for. But half the way through the game everything changes. You will start unlocking pictos that synergize directly with these items, which will buff your character every time they use one. Such as a simple heal suddenly grants speed boost to some character, or reviving might trigger a damage boost in your next attempt to fight. The Lumina enters the equation and then turns the passive tool into a build critical mechanic, which you should understand and build around. The untold rule here is using item isn't weakness, it's the meta which you should exploit a lot in the later games so that you can make your life hell easy when fighting difficult bosses. Weakness aren't optional. Every enemy in Expedition 33 has a weakness, and when you hit it, boom, 50% damage bonus. Miss it and you deal only the half amount of the damage which you might have done in a better format. And that's the maths that separates the survival from struggling. Here's where most players go wrong. They tunnel down only into the one skill tree they are trying to explore and the one playstyle they are comfortable with. But you need to adapt. Every character has 6 skill slots. Don't just use those 2 which you are kind of familiar with. Switch them up, experiment with them, and if your entire kit is resistant, then that's your cue to rebuild the entire kit itself immediately, cause you might not be even able to move further. The rule: don't brute force, try to be a bit smart and try experimenting with the kits which you are allowed to explore, as it just needs the experience you gather around the open world or even in certain areas which you are trying to explore. Don't spend the color of Lumina too early. You are going to find these color shades earlier on, called Color of Lumina, and they are tempting. They let you upgrade your character, boost their stat, pump up their points, but here is the catch. If you dump it all into one character, let's say Luna, and later on drop her, even though she is a really solid character, has a versatile kit, and do a lot in your rotations. But now, after dumping her, your entire rotation is something you can't call optimal. Cause after that huge point dump, congratulations, you had wasted your finite resources on someone who you are not even playing. So the rule is simple. Don't get emotional with the upgrades. Use Color of Lumina only after you lock in your core team. Think like a tactical investment and not something you should be doing as a fan of that particular character. Cause after all, you want to enjoy the game and not struggle with it and fail to find the end of this game and the story which you are trying to explore. Skipping camp dialogue might lock you out, and that's true. I get it, there is a lot of dialogue in Expedition 33, but skipping those or the campfire conversations might be a big mistake. Every relationship level, especially the 4 and 7, unlocks a powerful guaranteed attacking stack up. Max it out, you will get 3 game-changing skills that turn average unit into boss killers. And some of these conversations unlock entirely a new zone and main quest. Miss those, you are missing loot, ability and story arcs that you should explore, cause this game has a really beautiful story which you should learn and understand about how certain character has been doing throughout his life in this weirdly obscure and destructive world. This is not just a game that rewards rushing. You should wait and have a conversation, enjoy the game while having a good reward for having a good conversation with your teammates. The rule: talk to your crew. They are more than a lore, they are your weapon, as you will be using them in almost every rotation, and investing some conversation on them is not a waste at all. Side zones are secretly the best content you should explore. The map opens up fast, and then when it does, most players charge down the main quest like it's a freeway. But the real treasure are these hidden side paths which you should explore to have some extra areas that can provide you good rewards and a great nostalgia to follow up. Take Yellow Harvest, optional, missable, and yet one of the most lunatic area in the first half of the game. Rare loot, unique enemies and gradient material, you name it. Whatever you want is almost here in this region and you were about to miss it, cause they call it the optional area. If you skip the side zone, you are not making the game harder, you are playing it incomplete. Cause just playing this area will give you a decent amount of rewards which obviously will carry you in the end games itself, but missing these parts will make you feel a bit incomplete cause you are already done with your run and now you don't have enough time to make that entire run again. So get your time on your hands and try to find these areas and try to explore them. The rule: if it looks like a detour, it's probably a gold mine and you should try to explore it. There is no regrets on a game where you explore better, cause there is rarely any game that make an area which is totally waste of their own developers' time and not worth it to explore. White neurons are secretly the key to the endgame powerhouse. Not all neurons are evil, that's what we know in the early starts of the game. There is a small handful of white neurons we can explore. Yes, they are peaceful ones. You will spot them if you are observant enough, as they are painted in white instead of black or any different kind of color that can make you feel like they are dangerous, and most of these are just white. That's what they are called, white neurons, right? Just look for them near your flag areas where you can rest and take some good look around, cause you are safe around those flags. And helping all 9 of them will unlock you a secret meeting with Blanche at the fountain. But only if you didn't attack them earlier. Like a decent number of them, if were attacked by you, then Blanche is not going to be your meat. And you will be missing on a really good color of Lumina. That's a kingdom worth of power. Just miss it cause you hit someone who was looking white. You can't go back and you will never get that worth of color of Lumina. 100 is a bit huge number. Get paint break early or prepare to suffer. Yeah, that's true. Scattered across the world, there are paint pylons. Seeming random structure, they only respond to a specific action called paint break. And to get that ability, you will need to find the 4 lost Getzels. The problem is, people don't bother until the late game. And that means you will be retracking yourself backwards through the dozens of zones you're trying to unlock by doing a lot of stuff and then trying to find these painted pylons just to get a decent reward, which at this point you might feel rewarding or useless cause you are far more deeper into the game. Unlock paint break earlier and early pylon becomes an instant secret reward instead of forgotten core, as these things will really reward you good and as they can be accessed earlier on, which means you are missing on your easy cheesy game which you can enjoy in the earlier halves of it, but you missed it cause you are not bothered about those idiotically looking paint pylons. Lever your bench or regret it. You got a core trio, they are best, they are beast, but what happens when all 3 go down with a mid-boss fight? That's when your bench steps in. If they are under-leveled, under-equipped or under-prepared, that's a game over. So the untold rules suggest treat your backup character like a starters. Keep their weapons sharp, keep their pictos updated, rotate them in just enough to stay relevant and bringing them consistently into the battles, which means you are leveling up their pictos, which are hell useful for you. Because when the painter strikes you, you will need everyone ready to fight her back. And we can't say how hard she will hit if you're not doing well with your bench work. I don't mean that this game has a co-op added to it or will be added soon, I don't know if they can, but every fight in this game teaches you something. But the final battle, it tests everything you have. And the biggest mistake players make is assuming that 1 or 2 OP epic characters will carry them. They won't. Not against her cause she is hell difficult and the final boss of the entire game. Every role needs to function properly. That's what she demands. Your entire party, the healers, the tanks, the DPS, support all need to synergize well to smack her. They all need a care, they all need a job, and they should fulfill that job so that you can win the fight. This isn't a game where you win alone. It's a game where you win with everyone at their peak. So make sure you invest right, and you invest only in those players who are going to play the game since the start, or at least they are going to get exposed to the mid-game fight, as Pictos need you to fight to level up. Expedition 33 doesn't hold your hand, but it doesn't have to break your entire motive to play this game. With the right awareness, the right plan, and these untold rules, you not only survive, you thrive the game. And when trying to play edge to edge with the enemies you're trying to fight is what makes this game hell fun. And if this helped you, or if you got more hidden tips to share, drop them below in the comments. And as always, like the video, subscribe for more deep dives, and you will see me in the next video in the next story soon. Until then, play smart, play strong, and don't miss the white neurons. That's the final warning I give, and see you in the next one.